In his first public remarks since election night, President Trump attacked the integrity of the election and vowed to fight the results in court, even suggesting that the Supreme Court would intervene.
We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land.
Leading in the electoral vote count, former Vice President Joe Biden did not declare victory, but projected confidence in his latest remarks.
I ask everyone to stay calm, all the people to stay calm. The process is working.
And we bring in political insider Armstrong Williams right now to discuss. Good morning, Armstrong. What a week we've had, and we still don't have a clear winner, but it is looking favorable for Joe Biden at this point, who is ahead in the electoral vote count, 253 to Trump's 214. So what do you make of the lawsuits that President Trump is now threatening to bring?
Well, the first thing is good morning. And the president doesn't have much support from the GOP. Mitch McConnell has been silent. While you can look at instances where people may say they had to use a Sharpie, or somebody who voted was 102 years old and did not exist, people felt you could walk into polls without IDs and just vote, and missing ballots. The post office did never deliver hundreds of thousands of ballots. But many people don't see any large claims of fraudulent behavior or corruption in the elections. I'm sure the president is listening to many of the complaints that are fed to him by the sources that he has. But even the networks, Fox News and others that would normally support him, they put disclaimers below, even below his speech last night. There's nothing to really support the fact that there's fraudulence going on in this election. And anybody can, including you, Melanie, can say, I'm going to take a case to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court has spoken. They gave Pennsylvania extensive days to count their ballots. It would have been nice if Pennsylvania had been allowed to count their early balloting and the mail-in ballots before Election Day, like many other states. You would not have the problems that you're having today. The president has a very tough pathway to being reelected. You don't want to undermine democracy. And I assume it's particularly when you look at Georgia, you look at the map here, and the president is losing Georgia. If this trend continues and there's no path forward in Pennsylvania and Nevada, you're going to have one of those private meetings where the Senate majority leaders and others confer with the president in the White House and tell him he has to concede. Now, when that point comes, they're going to give the president a chance to air his grievance, because obviously his denial is very tough on him. But at some point, this country has to move on. And I have much respect for Vice President Biden saying, I'm not going to declare victory. Let the process work out. We're on a pathway. And that is certainly the kind of leadership that we need at this point. You don't need to create any more chaos and flare the president up anymore. You just got to get him to a place where he just accept the results and the will of the American people.
And interesting about the former Vice President Joe Biden and his remarks, and he told people to please stay calm. Clearly, he understands what is happening in many cities, what could happen when any result is announced. What was Biden at that point trying to tamp down any temperature that might be about to boil over?
He doesn't want violence on both sides because, you know, Trump supporters are depressed and up in arms because I think deep down they see the handwriting on the wall. And he doesn't want people to think that he's presumptuous, even though the votes are still being counted, that he's already president-elect of the United States. Because listen, like he said, he wants every vote counted. And when every vote is counted and the election is certified, and this is a part of his wisdom and his maturity, the fact that he can remain calm because, I mean, he served over 40 years in serving this country. He understands you got to respect the process. And what's the difference in declaring today or declaring 2 or 3 weeks from now? He's pretty confident he has the best access to all the numbers and all the results and the way the election is going right now, as well as the president. And Joe Biden knows unless something miraculously happened, that Trump finds some votes somewhere in Nevada, he will be the next president of the United States. And so he understands that our patience is an honest man's revenge. And that is his walk right now because he wants to show leadership and calm the nation so this situation doesn't get out of hand.
And that process continues right now. Thank you, Armstrong Williams. You can watch the Armstrong Williams Show every Saturday morning right here on WJLA 24/7 News at 10:30 in the morning.